It is a three-way fight for the championship in bronze. It is the scene of the Qatar Grand Prix, and it could be the scene of Aston Martin win the Constructors' Championship here tonight. They only have to outscore Ferrari by 2 points to be crowned Constructors' Champion, or basically Aston Martin need to have an absolute flop with Ferrari scoring major. The gap is 43 points. But the Drivers' Championship is the championship which you all are more interested in, I am sure. Let's take a look then. Technically, there are there are four drivers fighting for the championship in bronze. And mathematically, I think the Dynamo Dan needs a lot to go wrong. A lot to go wrong for to keep himself in the mix then. But let's take a look then. Whilst of course we're getting everyone in the lobby, Reflections leads 4 points in front of Smithy Almighty, who is second. Third position is Hungry Stars. 10 points separates Reflections and Hungry Stars. And that is the top three of the Drivers' Championship. Dynamo Dan is 46 points away on 272 points there. And of course, the bronze points is slightly different to gold and silver. But even with a 30 point as a Grand Prix win, then Dynamo Dan basically needs to score at least 16 points today, which is a fourth. And hoping that Reflections doesn't score, and that is just the minimum requirement to keep Dynamo Dan in this one. It's going to be a stretch. Cirrus Mushroom in fifth position, Rosa Sky in sixth. It's a shame for Rosa Sky hasn't raced in the last 3 or 4 races or so. Then she hasn't had a strong season, hasn't he, Rosa Sky? That's a shame. Winnie though could potentially steal that sixth position in seventh spot. Then of course Winnie, who of course was involved in a collision with one of the championship protagonists last time out in Hungry Stars at Las Vegas there. So that might be something on the minds of all the championship rivals. And also as well, Smithy Almighty did get hampered slightly by winning as well. That is also a food for thought here tonight. Mr. Elite in 8th position on 132 points. 1 point adrift of Winnie, who is 5 points adrift of Rosa Sky. It's going to be an almighty scrap, isn't it, for that 6th position. Halcyon 9th position. One incredibly consistent start to Hal's career in bronze. Been superb. 98 points is Chlorine Pilot. What a revelation that Chlorine Pilot has been. Really good stuff. Dave Marsky has not raced again here tonight. He is down in on 82 points. San, same with Chlorine Pilot, and both drivers have been doing really well. The McLaren team, haven't they, as of recently? 77 points for San there. Vintage on 45 points. 39 for Groove. Ninja 32 for Real Ashton. Jake the Slayer on 27 points. Duncan Dave on 25, along with Wab Stafford. Stead, who basically got MIA on 5 points, and Liam also on 5 points as well. In the Constructors' Championship, then, let me just make sure I haven't been tagged in Discord, because I am waffling away, which is never a good thing, is it? Quickly, let me have a look before I go into anything else. Luckily, I haven't been tagged, so on with the show. Fantastic. How do I want to go for that. Thank you. Right, and then in the Constructors' Championship, is, ignore that message from Russia. I need to put myself on Do Not Disturb, don't I? One day I will remember to do it. That is not today, and to be honest, you're also going to hear a lot of wind from me as well, because I've just eaten a bit of birthday cake, and I feel very... Ugh. In the Constructors' Championship, right, where am I? In the Constructors' Championship, Aston Martin has a 43-point lead. Then, hang on a minute. I think I've got the Constructors' Championship all wrong, haven't I? Because, of course, it's still more than a realistic chance for Ferrari to win, because, of course, there is actually, hang on, 40, 50, 51, 52 points actually for a 1-2, and 53 if you get a fast stop as well. So I am talking absolute hullabaloo. So Ferrari have got more than a realistic chance of taking the Constructors' Championship still, because there's 53 points is a maximum score. But even so, it's still a stretch. It's still a stretch for Ferrari. Williams there in third position with Racing Point in fourth. Basically, both teams are kind of in no man's land there, really. But having said that, Racing Bulls might have to be a little wary of the Alpine team, especially Mr. Elite and Cirrus Mushnin, hoping to get some more decent scores then. Racing Bulls seem to be on the back foot at the moment there. But let's see how that transpires. McLaren then have been the biggest mover and shaker in the last couple of weeks or so. I think the highest they're going to get now is 6th position, and of course, unless they get some incredible 1-2s, and even then, basically they need 2 1-2s in the last 2 races then to get up to 5th position, so Alpine should be safe. Right, I've not been tagged, so I'm hoping that Kiki could just go with the flow. Where am I? And then we have got 177 points for Kick Sauber, 112 points for Mercedes, 65 points separates those two constructors. McLaren then are very much on the up then, and with Kick Sauber basically got no drivers again. You can see there we do have the two super subs, but of course reserve drivers are not eligible to score in the Constructors' Championship. Reason being because this championship a few seasons ago, Ferrari won the Constructors' Championship when basically only had one driver. So which wasn't really very fair to be honest, was that? A Red Bull race on 57 points, I should say, and 50 points for the Haas team. Then that is the Constructors' Championship, of course. So really good 17 as well. Of course, also Happy Remembrance Day as well. Of course, is it November the 11th? Remember the 5th of November? No, gosh, I've got that completely wrong, and I apologise profusely. I should wind my neck, and goodness gracious me. Good, go Williams said, I have been tagged. Am I ready? Says Kiki. I am ready. Right, I might have to give Kiki a thumbs up because I've run out of memes to, I've run out of memes and to send the admins, and probably because I've also been blocked as well. Right, back. Oh, as we get ready to go now. Yes, of course, it is Remembrance Day as well here on the 11th. Of course, the 11th, the 11th day of the 11th month of the 11th hour. That of course. Yes, we all had silence today at 11 o'clock. Where's me YouTube gone then? And of course, Bonfire Night was a few weeks ago, a few days ago as well, wasn't it? Goodness gracious me, there's a lot of things going on in November, isn't it? This time of year, there's always a lot of things going on, whether it's Halloween, Remembrance Sunday, or Bonfire Night. Of course, we've also got Christmas just around the corner as well. I mean, good grief. Right. Where am I? I don't know where I am, to be honest. Rain, stuff, rain, says Serious Rush. I must say, I'm absolutely drenched, to be fair. I've just walked, well, I say walked, I waddled down from my sister's. It's my nephew's 5th birthday party today, but sadly, I forgot about that until this morning, so I'm a terrible uncle, which is shocking stuff indeed. I must admit, I thought it was next week, so I don't have a clue what I'm thinking of what's going to happen next week. So I'm now worried about what I've replaced that with. So I'm also worried about next week. What have I got to do next week? So I'm a little worried about that. Real Ashton Armin, then give me rain. It says, oh, I've read the comments the wrong way around. Give me rain, says Real Ashton. Then stuff rain. It says Mushroom. I have a feeling that it's not going to rain in Qatar here tonight. Of course, we are in the middle of the desert. In the middle of the desert. I'm not sure what the hold up is at the moment. I think we're just waiting for everyone to get ready. Steve Anthony, go Williams. Well, of course, Anthony has had a very, of course, a Williams driver at the beginning of the season. Of course, Anthony had to hang up his helmet for a time being. By the way, that is a reference to his racing career and nothing else. So goodness gracious me, gentlemen. But yeah, we're just waiting to get going in. I need to get comfy, to be honest, because I kind of flopped on my poof and haven't really, and I'm not really in my commentary position at the moment, which isn't very good, is it? And also, I'm going to be sweating buckets because I've got my heating on because I have got my shoes completely soaked. And I don't know why, but my shoes smell really badly after they get wet at the moment, and I don't know how to stop it. It's really annoying me at the moment, because they had a bit of a waft last week or the week before, when it absolutely poured down here again. And so basically, I've turned the heating on up to max so that I don't smell funky tomorrow, which of course my work colleagues would be very happy about as well. Having said that, especially if I have to lean over them as well. Of course, they probably have enough in my bow, to be fair, don't they? Hello, Darts and ALR must be that time of year, says Real Ashton Aubrey. Is the Darts start already? I was like, goodness gracious me. Of course, I think there's the Premier League starts in December, doesn't it? Which is pretty cool then. What's it? Is it the World? I'm pretending like I know darts. I have no idea. I know that Luke Littler won something else, didn't he, the other day? Goodness gracious me! It's absolutely. I try and pretend like I know darts. I'm not even very good at darts either. As sadly, when I've been challenged to a game of darts in the pub, I normally lose, and normally I get very tipsy because usually we play something called around the board, and yep, I'm always last, sadly. But I think it's because I got a limp arm, maybe, or maybe it's because I go to the gym and pump too hard, potentially. Right, and have we got any milestones? Like, well, we do have. We have Serious Mushroom and Hungry Stars, who are starting our 120th Grand Prix tonight. Good gracious me, good stuff indeed. Then we have also also got, have we got anyone else then with milestones? 130th Grand Prix start though for Vintage. Of course, Vintage with the most Grand Prix starts in the bronze category then, which is fantastic stuff indeed. Lovely jubbly indeed then. We've got a lot of high stars in bronze. Now, of course, listen to this. We've got 108th start for Marsky, not here tonight. Slayer beyond his 92nd Grand Prix start, not too far away. Duncan Davils on his 92nd Grand Prix start tonight as well. Fantastic indeed. A quarter of a century for Liam and for San. Then, of course, San is really best position, the sixth position, which I don't think very much summarises the talent that McLaren driver has. Of course, so I think that's very harsh indeed, unless I've not updated my stats. It's also highly likely indeed that Chlorine Pilot, I keep saying Chlorine, what the hell's going on? Chlorine Pilot has been a revelation, and I confidently predict that he will be the newest Grand Prix winner in bronze. Whether that's this season or next season remains to be seen, but I am fairly confident in that project, John. Grand Slam of darts on now, then it's Worlds on the 11th. Aha! I was kind of close, but then again, I kind of wasn't either. But there we go, we got Haku Saku, who had a connection troubles in the event league, wasn't it? Where he had to pull out, unfortunately. Hopefully he doesn't get that today. Then we've got Liam then, who's currently out at the moment. And as I said, this is quarter of a century of Grand Prix starts tonight. So happy 25th to Liam. We've got Reflections out there. So I got Hannington, of course, one of the newest stars of bronze, winning last summer and finishing second the season before. Then Liam's got the Ocon helmet there, so that's a good touch indeed. Then fantastic indeed. Then. Hello, Camera Racer. Hello, all drivers, and good luck as well. Camera is saying that. I think that last night I was quite surprised, and I think I was pleasantly surprised as well, to be honest, because I thought, as the instant channel is now open, says Christian Horner, I think that our Discord admin Alex needs to update that, doesn't he? I think Lauren Mecky's potentially, maybe even Toto Wolff, but we've already got Toto Wolff in the Discord as well. For anyone who doesn't know what Discord is and has absolutely no idea what we're talking about, of course we do have a bot called Christian Horner, which is quite funny, isn't it? Indeed, then. There we go then, but of course that's because we've got a terrible sense of humour, haven't we, really? Here's Liam then coming into turn 15. I was pleasantly surprised last night because I must admit, it was an interesting race then, but I think the last night it was quite entertaining as Cody's retired from the session. It was quite entertaining in terms of a lot of aggression up there in silver. And also congratulations to Mayranov, who is the 10th champion of silver. So congratulations to Mayranov. It took me a very long time to tag him in the Instagram this afternoon there, but I was so happy I did. So congratulations to Mayranov, and of course the 10th champion in silver. Tonight then we could potentially have a champion in the form of Reflections. Reflections going for 2 championships, so he's in the championship tonight, and of course he's also got the event league tomorrow night as well in Abu Dhabi, of course. So Reflections is ultimate pressure for Reflections. So I don't know how Reflections is going to cope, to be honest. I could barely cope just getting into an F1 car, let alone worrying about going for 2 championships. So Reflections is going to be very much under the cosh over the next 24 hours or so. Nice win, Gary, says Serious Show. Miscommunication on quali bands, and says Cody. So that's an audio. It's Cody thought that he's going to have a qualifying ban tonight, but it's actually going to be in the event league. Of course, because I think that might have been the case there, but I read in between the lines there. Hello to Halsey. Good evening, lads. He has constructors here too, says Halsey. That he absolutely does, doesn't he? Reflections as Liam goes fast on the 23.001 there to set us on our journey. And talking to Reflections, there he is on a 21.922 then to set us on our journey. There's Hannington, who's half a second away there from Reflection at the moment, so that's quite surprising then for the newest megastar in bronze and superb stuff. What about Haku Saku then? Of course, challenging race in Las Vegas a week ago. Unfortunately for Haku Saku there, but comes across the line, goes into a 24.9. This is such a tough circuit. I'm glad that we're not racing in this for the event league, because I must say I might have had to pull a sickie. Out to the far turf for Hungry Stars and one of 4 men in the championship challenge. I'm going to include all 4 because it's never over till it's over there. Kimi Räikkönen can attest to that in 2007, of course. Maybe even Super Max Verstappen in 2025 as well. However, we'll hold on to that thought until basically ALR season will finish by the time we know who's going to be the 2025 world champion. But we'll keep a hold of that thought anyway. Vintage with the most beautifulest helmet I have ever seen there. Mayran has retracted his statement there as he has a bit of profanity in the chat. I love it. 23-7 for Vintage, 7/10 of a second there away. Of course, Vintage making his 130th Grand Prix start in bronze tonight there. Happy 130th, of course, the most starts ever in bronze. Dynamo Dan, 46 points away in the Drivers' Championship, is still in it to win it. It is still going to be tough there for Dynamo Dan, but of course, it's never over until it's over. Styles are in the middle part of the sector now. Mr. Elite then is on his journey. Here's Chlorine Pirate, who has been absolute revelation in the last couple of races. So then, if he can get that consistency going, then Chlorine Pilot making this 12th Grand Prix start tonight. Then he's had 2 pole positions and 2 podiums there. But I think if he starts to get some good results on the board, which he has done in the last 2 races with 2 third positions there, I think the Chlorine Pilot could be a championship contender for next season. Here's one of our championship contenders this season, Hungry Styles. I remember the way back in F1 22. Goodness me, that was a very long time ago. Hungry Styles, I think, took off like a rocket in when we was HDE, I think, in the beginning of that season, before I decided to go MIA and retire for about 2 months. Less than about that, the better. But I remember Hungry Styles there in the opening race of Australia. He was superb, and I'm not sure if he won it in the end there, because once again, circumstance there for Hungry Styles. He's never the most luckiest driver in Formula One. As Murray Walker used to say, he'd rather be lucky than good. What did he say? No, I don't know. Mr. Lee goes very fast, and that's a very interesting time there. No practice, not looking forward to this, says Halsey. Oh dear. I think that this is probably the toughest circuit of the season. It's just me though, because I can't keep it within the white lines potentially, to be fair, and I forget a lot of penalties as well. As Serious Mushroom likes to remind everyone, I've got 43 seconds of penalties around here, but I also like to remind everyone as well that was because I ran out of fuel and I was just trying to get to the end of the race there. Even though it's not very good for an admin to have 43 seconds of penalties, but then again, I'm only admin by name and not by anything else. Oh, Sand's gone out of bounds out, and that's what I mean by that. This circuit is so tricky. I am expecting a lot of corner cuts, a lot of tracking stages. So I told the corner cuts here, serious mushroom. Having your fingers tattooed isn't a good idea with gloves. Oh, you've had your fingers tattooed, have you? Ooh, nice. I wonder what have you got on your finger? Goodness me. Let's steady on, chaps. Steady on, lads. Goodness me. To be fair, I think I'm trying to think. What would you have on your finger as a tattoo? Have I read that wrong? Potentially I've read that wrong. I'm also leaning forward as well, so that might have been why. So currently as it stands in reflections on pole position, Dynamo Dan's back with the 4th position. A much better second lap there for Dynamo Dan, and he's in the mix. Stars has dropped down at the moment there. Smithy is out on a lap now. Hungry Stars has invalidated, Serious Mushroom has invalidated his time. Shocking stuff there from Mushroom. He better pull up his socks then for tomorrow when I'm his teammate for Red Bull, as Red Bull have got a major battle with, I think it's with Ferrari actually, ironically we're on board with them now, as not getting the wooden spoon in the event league then. However, the reason why we're bottom is nothing to do with me, it's all to do with my teammate. Here's Smithy. Smithy is going to regret me telling the admins this, but of course I'm only in the admin chat because I like to be nosy. Not nosy. Smith Almighty's got a terrible upset stomach there. So let's hope that nature doesn't call for Smithy Almighty. And I gotta say, I do feel Smithy Almighty's pain, because I had a similar problem when I was commentating in silver a few seasons ago. As I think it was the Belgian Grand Prix where I had a real bad upset stomach, but that was self-inflicted because I had a bag of nuts before I came on commentary. Yeah, that short man trying to get the gloves on is a nightmare. Hey, Mayran, and good luck, Bronze. Good evening to you, champ. Champ. Then I was going to say, well, I was thinking about saying something better than that, but well, Mayran, of course, the only driver in ALR, which I gotta say, this is the latest we've ever crowned a champion in any season of Grand Prix racing. It's been fantastic, hasn't it? But of course, we could potentially we will have a champion tomorrow night. But well, championships not being wrapped up until like just 2 rounds to go or 1 round to go is absolutely ridiculous. It's incredibly tight. All the championships have been. The game has not been well received this season. As Reflections goes fastest there. I apologise. I've been waffling on about my shenanigans. Reflections goes fastest. He's been on pole position 5 times this season, and 5 times Booker T said. Hannington is second at the moment, and he's 6/10 of a second up. That will be in the ballpark, but it won't be enough for pole position. It is enough for second on the grid then, and just a minutest of margins away from Reflection. So Hannington is going to be a major factor again here tonight. We have got Smithy Almighty in third position. He's coming back in the pits. Hopefully he'll empty his bowls before going back out on circuit. Hungry Styles in 6th position. He's going to hate me by the end of this one. Hungry Styles out on circuit. A quarter of a second up in the first sector time. In this second sector is very difficult indeed. Yo, Sean, I hope you're well, says Slayer. I'm always well, former teammate. I hope you're doing a good. I hope you're well as well. Slayer, of course, Slayer on this 92nd Grand Prix start tonight. Yes, it is 92nd Grand Prix start, and Slayer only 8 away from 100, and I'm feeling that. I don't know the all-time stats for Bronze Zone, which is shameful by me. But then again, that's because I'm not the regular commentator in Bronze. That is my excuse. And of course, I try and do less for more and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure Slayer's like in the top 10 for most starts then. So happy 92nd Grand Prix start tonight from Slayer. Here is the happy 120th Grand Prix start, which is sharing that record with Sirius Masher. McCarran to the line. It's third fastest for stars on the same row as Smithy Almighty. And remember that Smithy Almighty had an almighty battle with his teammate last week then. Whether that is going to be the same tonight then remains to be seen. And Vintage up into a very solid 9th position there for the Haas team, who will be hoping that Haas can overtake the Mercedes then. Real Ashton's gone purple in the second sector, as you'll see over yonder. No, I'm in the wrong part of the circuit, I think. Actually, I've missed the. Oh, there's the stadium in the background there. Of course, it's the World Cup final 2022, which doesn't feel that long ago at all. As Chlorine Pilots has gone up to full fastest there in the McLaren Mercedes. Of course, a big score in the last couple of weeks there. Across the line, Ashton in the top 10. Great effort there from Real Ashton. We have got Vintage there, 3/10 of a second down. Winnie starting us up now. Here's Slayer then on to the just to start us up then. San is on the second sector there. We've got Schumacher. We have got Sirius Musher out on circuit as well. Sirius Musher does remind me of Michael Schumacher. From his Mercedes years. Goodness me. He is going to be so upset with me by the end of this stream, isn't he? There's 2 people I've upset already. Smithy and Sirius Merchant. Goodness gracious me. I think I might go for the trifecta and see if I can upset Farf as well. I haven't said that. I'm not sure if Farf's around tonight. I have a feeling because he'll probably be on the phone to Smithy Almighty and maybe giving him some word of wisdom. And of course, Farf, of course, 1 in gold, 1 in silver as well. So Farf does have a lot of wins in his career. Across the line now, and Sang goes third fastest, and that underlines the pace of the 2 McLaren drivers, because both McLarens are in such a good run of form, and that San and Chlorine Pilot between them, Chlorine Pilot between them, have been pretty phenomenal in qualifying. Now, I don't think San's got the rub of the green now, as I thought Stars coming out then, but Chlorine Pilot in the pits now. Diamond Dan out on circuit there. He is at the far end of the circuit now. He's not got much battery left, but as he flicks it into 14. Now coming into 15 as well. We're on board. It's like a roller coaster in this final section. You've got to have so much confidence in the car. You've got to have so much confidence that the car will stick. It's incredible, isn't it? And that is why I'm so rubbish around here, because I have no confidence in my car. Sixth fastest for Dynamo Dan. Of course, Dynamo Dan, this is a last chance saloon now, isn't it, for Dynamo Dan to keep his championship hopes alive. Smithy Almighty in 7th position there. And remember, as a serious motion moves up to 9th position. Halsey out on circuit, first sector time, 3 seconds down. I think that we've just caught him on an in-lap there. Winnie's invalidated. Slayer is up into 15th position as well. We've got Groove Ninja grooving out onto the circuit as well. Mr. Elite then is on a out lap. Then we've got Smithy Almighty about to start a lap. Let's go on board with the man who is second in the World Championship. Real Ashton's out qualified. It took me by surprise there. Here comes Smithy then. Let's go on board now with Smithy. Of course, 4 Grand Prix wins this season. 2 pole positions. Got pole position in Las Vegas. But was that a poison chalice there for Smithy Almighty then? So let's see how this one transpires. But of course, if you as a driver, you would always have to, if you had to pick, you would always be first on the grid, surely. Smithy Almighty 7th at the moment now. Pressure's on then. This is a tough circuit to come to when you know the championship is in the balance there. I think Smithy is is not on a quick lap at the moment. He's not using any deployment. You can see the graphics down in the bottom of the screen there. He is harvesting at the moment. Dynamo Dan back in the pit lane now. And Smithy there is out. I wonder if he's come out a bit too early potentially for Smithy. Cars are coming out on circuit now, so I'm going to stick with Groove Ninja for the minute. We'll keep an eye on Smithy's times, but he's not. I think he's on not on an in lap, but I think he's on just an extra warm-up lap out there for Smithy. So we'll see how that one transpires. Is that going to hurt those tires? Maybe an extra lap on those tires may not be too fruitful there. Groove Ninja correcting the oversteer there. That's not going to help it too much. That Williams is not looking very compliant as we're on board with Groove Ninja then. So Groove Ninja is very much working away at this Williams car. It's not looking too friendly in qualifying, but I'm wondering if he set that car more for race trim, more to look after those tyres there. And of course, because that is where points means prizes. However, tomorrow, I think we got double points in Abu Dhabi there. Oh gosh, I'm having flashbacks to 2014. Now, I think there's also points in Groove Ninja is unfortunately invalidated this time. That is a horror show from the Williams driver. He is going to be kicking himself there, and he's almost out of the ploy. He's done it at the worst place then for Groove Ninja, coming across the line now. Styles on circuit. We got Reflections on circuit as well as he is flicking it into the end of Sector 1. We're going to stick with Styles for the minute. I apologise if other drivers on the lap, but I'm going to keep it on. We got Vintage out there as well. We got Liam out on circuit, and we've got a Red Bull, I think, then coming across the line as well. May run off the Silver Champion. Good setup to avoid track limits here is key for the race there. Hungry Styles has abandoned his time, and that, I think, is the end of his qualifying session there. And that's going to put him very vulnerable to the drivers behind him. Mr. Elite does not improve. Well, he improves very, very minutely by just under 200ths of a second there from his previous best, but it's not enough. Smithy Almighty's from 3/10 of a second. That will pull him onto the second row of the grid there. If he can keep up the momentum, it's only 6 fastest there for Smithy. He is on the 3rd row of the grid, along with the McLaren Mercedes. San is gone into 3rd, but San is about to start his lap then. Reflections has abandoned his time. He's into the pits then, and that could be costly for the championship leader, because Gary's also had issues as well. Hannington is done in qualifying. Can San get his first pole position of his career? As Chlorine Pilot out on circuit as well. Chlorine Pilot has got a lot to say about that as well. Mr. Elite out on circuit. I'm looking for the Saubers. What about the second? Oh, there's only one Sauber. There's problems at the end there. What's happened? Something has majorly gone wrong, and Groove Ninja into the pits now. As Groove Ninja, I reckon I feel that there's a lot of frustration in Groove Ninja there. As we felt that as coming out of the final turn there for Liam, who's found 2/10 of a second, and Liam's going to be in the top 10 here. He is. That's a great time from Liam. Magnificent stuff for the Haas driver, and into the top 10 goes the Haas. Brilliant stuff indeed there. Serious Russian there and throwing it into the middle part of the circuit. And Mr. Elite, I think, is calling it a day. As we're just on board there with Smithy, who is also unfortunately not going to be able to improve his time. San has had a horror show in the second sector. That is it then, as they're all falling by the wayside here. What about Chlorine Pilot then? Chlorine Pilot is also a 10th for a second down then. The track is not improved then, or maybe the drivers are at the limit of the limit of the limit and beyond. Chlorine Pilot stays 5th fastest in the end. Serious Mushroom is found 2/10 of a second. That could have catapulted him up to, stays 9th there. He ran out of time at the end there. Halsey across the line. Halsey goes into 8th then. Halsey is the only driver to improve here. Winnie stays in 13th for this as well. It's pole position for Reflections. 6th pole position of the season. And that is his first pole position since the United States Grand Prix. Fantastic for Reflection as well. Where is the Aston Martin's pole position? There they are. That's their 11th pole position of the season. Good gracious me. Fantastic in terms of the overall stats then for Reflections. It is Reflection's 6th pole position as well, as he's given us a peace sign there, Reflections, as he is loving life at the top there. And that is absolute perfect way to start this very crucial round of the Drivers' Championship. My worst track of the season says, Star says this is not ideal. 4/10 up, lost it out of the last corner, says Cirrus Russia. Boulder Dash, I think, is what Cirrus Russia is trying to put there. Reflections pole position then by 4100 a second. I need to get a drink. Just wetting me whistle, and let's get ready to go. Gosh, it is 17.5 degrees in here now. I am roasting. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna look like a hog roast by the end of this one. Goodness gracious me, I already look a bit like Pumbaa in a way. Right, let's get on with the show, shall we? And so we got 19 drivers on this grid then. Star says this is the worst track of the season. I think it's the toughest track of the season as well. You got to stay within track limits as the new silver champion, May Ranoff, as May Ranoff said earlier on in the broadcast. So May Ranoff there kept off the track limits issue there, and of course scored his win that got him the world championship last night. Whether we'll get a new champion tonight remains to be seen, but things have to go very pear-shaped for Smithy Almighty, for Hungry Stars, for Dynamo Dan, outside chance for Dynamo Dan, he probably doesn't like me saying that, and also, or maybe for Reflections himself there, but if Reflections will still be in the championship, whatever happens here tonight, but his rivals there, as long as they score, they still have a realistic chance going into the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi in a week's time. Tomorrow night then, of course, a quick... We'll have a quick plug then, of course, because I am shameless. Shameless, I actually am. I wonder if anyone remembers that show. But of course, the quick plug for tomorrow night is a head-to-head showdown in the season in the event league. There, Reflections 14 points in front of Equals there, with just one more race to go. That Reflections has a bigger gap than what he does in bronze. There, join us there. Join Luke, who will be going through the championship permutations with you tomorrow night at 7:30 UK time in Abu Dhabi, and it's a quick preview of what we're going to see in bronze and in gold next week as well. There are still a few things to iron out in silver, of course, but of course May Ranoff was the first official drivers' champion of the season. There, we still got 3 champions to crown in ALR, which is absolutely redonkulous. Gold, bronze, and of course the event league as well. Cannot wait for that then, of course, but unfortunately for the admins, there's going to be a lot of mass going on, and there's also going to be a lot of congratulations as well, which is a nice thing, I suppose, isn't it? Reflections pole position, number 6 of his career and of the season as well. Medium tires. Gary Hannington in second. He's gone hard. Let's see how that transpires, because in gold that didn't work. In silver it worked wonderfully and almost gave Sweet a Grand Prix win. San in third. Stars in fourth there. I think Stars be happy with that. Pilot in fifth, with Smithy Almighty down to 6th. So Dynamo Dan 7th. Halsey in 8th. Mr. Elite in 9th. And Cirrus Mushroom in 10th. Liam in 11th. Haku Saku in 12th position. 13th is Winnie, with Duncan Dave in 14th. Real Ashton in 15th. Vintage in 16th. Slayer in 17th. Cody in 18th, and I think it's the only driver this week who started on the soft tyres. Groove Ninja, we've seen the frustration at the pit exit there at the final minutes of qualifying for Groove Ninja. Down in 19th position, hard tyres for Groove Ninja, Slayer, Vintage, Haku Saku, Cirrus Mushroom, Dynamo Dan, Smithy Almighty, and Hannington. That is a quicker strategy. I've heard it from a great source. That is Cirrus Mushroom there, who said that. And to be fair, he was absolutely on the money there, because if Immortal was able to get through the traffic and gold, then that could have really helped him on Sunday night then. And it did help Sweet then, almost crown an unlikely victory last night for Sweet then. So close yet so far, as the drivers are now lining up on the grid now, as they are now watching for those 5 lights to come on. Then of course it's been the same start procedure since 1996, when they got rid of green at the end of 95, because of course the drivers reacted so much quicker. They only reacted to the 5 red lights going out rather than the green. That's how incredible these drivers are. Pressure is on for 4 drivers here tonight. Pressure is on for the teams to hopefully clinch the Constructors' Championship here tonight. 5 lights are on then, and they have been extinguished, and it's go, go, go here in Qatar. And it's a good run down into turn 1. The Reflections got the perfect start there, as we got 4 abreast going into turn 1 there, between the Ferrari, between the Alpine and Dynamo down in 4th as well, as they have forced the Alpine out wide. And the Chlorine Pilot in 5th position. Smithy retains 6th position. Dynamo down in 7th position there. Dynamo down today because Halsey has snuck through, as Winnie is up into 10th position already. He's flying through the field there, Winnie is. That's an Aston Martin. That's Halsey off the circuit. He is half spun. He's trying to recover, but that's not ideal. Liam's off the circuit, and that's a shame for Liam, who had this best qualifying of his career so far. And now they're all banging wheels of each other. Not ideal start at all. Cody and Groove has had the fantastic start. They're up 6th position. Serious Mushrooms down into 12th position at the moment. Halsey's dropping down a further position. It's a horror show then for Halsey. It's not a good start for Liam either. A great start for Cody on those soft tyres, launching off the grid and up into 7th position. Groove Ninja also flying through number 6 there. Winnie's at 5th position. He's coming through the field like a hot knife through butter, and Winnie is now into 8th position there, and maybe he could help his teammate then. I wasn't sure that the championship rivals is going to expect Winnie to be so close in the early stage of this race already, but he already is a factor in this one, because he's already behind one of 4 championship protagonists in the form of Dynamo Dan in 7th position. That one completely. Look at the gap there. It's 7 tenths of a second there between Reflections, Hannington as well. Look at the background there. That's Cody all over the back of Haku Saku here, and then Cody using those soft tyres to great effect here on the outside into turn 1. He is going on the outside. He has taken the position. No, he hasn't. They bang wheels. He'll have the inside of the turn 2, and those soft tyres are working wonderfully. Haku Saku's been forced out wide and keeps his toe in there and keeps 10th position. Great for driving there from both drivers. Fantastic stuff indeed there. Hats off to both drivers there, because I thought that would have been job done, but it absolutely is not that, as Hannington is out of DRS range. Reflections there putting his toe down. As it stands then, he would not be Drivers' Championship here today. As Real Ashton dropping down the order, as Vintage is through on those hard tyres. He is through. Real Ashton there dropping down the order then, but they're going side by side then, as this is the battle for 18th and 19th position there. And very well played from both drivers there. They know this is a long race here tonight. Winnie all over the gearbox. Winnie is absolutely flying. I reckon that Winnie's got somewhere to be tonight, hasn't he? Goodness gracious me, he is storming. Winnie is there. And I think that the Ferrari team, as much as they love to see Winnie flying through the field there, of course, as Haku's got a 3-second penalty already, unfortunately, and he has lost Cody there, which is a good sign indeed there, on one of those soft tyres. Look, you see, there's the green salver. It's quite the way back then. I think Ferrari would have liked to have seen a Smithy Almighty with much more pace than what he's got at the moment there, but Winnie is flying out there at the moment, and Winnie is all over the back of a Dynamo Dan then, as we go back to Hungry Stars fighting with San. Hannington, San then are 2 drivers that are not involved in the championship fight, nor is Chlorine Pilot either. So of course those drivers then are going to be throwing caution to the wind, and I think those drivers also know that the rivals in the championship there are going to be feeling a bit more vulnerable. Cody's having major issues. Only lap 3 on those soft tyres. Those soft tyres are falling apart. This is the first time that we've seen those soft tyres in action, as Liam goes up and under, but Cody then does the old switcheroo and keeps that first 13th position, but I'm not sure for how long because those soft tyres are completely gone. And that is interesting race information there for anyone who was thinking about going on to the soft tyres later on in this race, and if they needed to, maybe for a fast lap or maybe for a quick splash and dash, and even though it's not splash and dash these days, was it? Winnie's very much throwing caution to the wind there. Liam has unfortunately thrown too much caution to the wind, and it's now got a 3-second penalty. Mr. Lee there just in the background as well. But as it stands at the moment, Smithfield Mighty is in 6th position. Cody does have a 3-second penalty as he is struggling on those soft tyres. A lot of drivers, I think, are not concerned about the penalty situation. They just want track position because they know it's crucial in this one. As Haddington is lost out, Kassan is through and up into 2nd position. He has taken the kick, Sauber. And through he goes. What about Liam, who's all over the back of Halsey, who's dropping down to 40 minutes. There's contact between the two cars. But Halsey's got the position there. Liam trying to go back on the outside, but Halsey has the high line. He has the position. The gap at the front is 2 seconds. Reflection is absolutely rocketing away at the moment there. That's a 2 seconds gap at the moment for Reflection there. He's having a lovely Tuesday evening drive here tonight. Fantastic stuff indeed then. Well, for Reflections, not very much for his rivals out there, as long as he doesn't burn up those tyres though, so that could be a potential problem. Up the inside goes Groove Ninja. Serious Mushroom slams the door shut on Groove Ninja's toes. Groove Ninja's had a great start to this race, a horror show qualifying, down in 19th position, but he's already up to 12th position already now. Great start indeed there for the Williams driver. Serious Mushroom trying to get past Haku Saku in the Mercedes-Benz car, but Serious Mushroom's going to get very frustrated. I was talking at the start of the last lap that potentially a lot of drivers are throwing caution to the wind on the track limits because they want track position, because look at how much time Serious Mushroom is losing behind Haku Saku. The gap is 5 seconds now, and of course they have now been detached from the top 9 in this race, and so maybe that's why they're throwing caution to the wind then in terms of, I've been saying that so many times, just not concerned about the penalty situation at the moment. It's I've missed the battle for second position because I'm looking at this battle here as Groove Ninja all over the gearbox, and we've also got in the background whoa, my goodness me, as Groove Ninja on the outside. Slayer's left the session. Oh no, Slayer's had an issue. Hopefully he can get back in pronto here, but Groove Ninja is now back up into 11th position. Groove Ninja has got contact was there as I think I've probably pressed the on board there a bit too early, and I don't know if Haku's got another penalty at the moment there, but Haku drop it. There we go, my goodness me, diving up the inside. I think that might have been a day late and $1 short there, and that was very lucky that Groove Ninja, and that's as he comes back on the circuit, Haku is then causing all kinds of anarchy. Haku then needs to probably stabilise the ship here for Haku. I think that Haku is having a couple of issues there. He just needs to stabilise the ship, get himself back into a groove, and get back on it there. But that was very aggressive there from Haku Saku. And good job that didn't end up in tears, to be honest. Cody and Liam are fighting. That's tears there. And goodness gracious me. And now on the outside goes Duncan Dave. Overtaking that part of the circuit is always going to end in tears. Hannington is now starting to stabilise the gap. And the gap is still 2.2 seconds, but he's got the fast lap of the race here. Incredible stuff indeed there. Duncan Dave and Real Ashley as well. And into the pits comes Cody after 6 laps on those soft tyres. I think those soft tyres might not have been a good idea. Groove Ninja and Serious Mushroom swapping positions. Duncan Dave passes Liam and moves himself up into 40th position. Liam dropped down into 50th position. Go back up and under contact there between the two cars there, as these drivers are getting very frustrated. And the opening stage is when Real Ashton having a sniff up the inside of Liam, but Liam slams the door shut on the Red Bull's toes. And then we've got Vintage making his 130th Grand Prix start tonight there. And just watching, using all of that experience then, I have no doubt about it, just watching and keeping a watching brief then of what is going on in front of him then. Vintage can strike now. So now we've got a gaggle of cars between San. San is lost out heavily to Hannington, who's now started to reel in Reflections there, because on the hard tyres, and the hard tyres now started to come into it. Has Reflection burned through his tyres early in this race, and we're only on lap 6. Cody got to lap 5, or the end of lap 5, to throw on the set of hard tyres. Can Cody get to the end of the race? Those tyres might be second hand. On board with Spiffy, who's second in the Drivers' Championship at this moment in time then. Stiles and Spiffy are still in the Drivers' Championship. championship as we got a lot of penalties coming their way. Vintage has passed at Real Ashton and moved himself up into 16th position there. And now what about Dynamo Dan, who is looking at his adversary there, as his adversary is flashing red as Mr. Elite has got past Winnie, as Winnie has started to struggle. I'm wondering if Winnie's also had issues as well, as what has happened? Haku has crashed coming into the pit lane, and we got a safety car. Haku is out of the race as he's crashed coming into the pit lane. And I think that Liam is also in the pits as well. Was there contact between the two cars? That is a bit unusual. We've got a safety car for the first time this event, and I must say I'm quite surprised to see a safety car. But Haku out of the race there, and I'm wondering if Liam and Haku came to blows again, because Liam into the pit. Haku has crashed at the exit of the pit lane now, and I don't know, it's quite a strict, and as well as this pit in is quite easy, a lot easier than it used to be a couple of seasons ago, as it used to be the entry into the final turn. But Liam and Haku, I'm not sure if they come to blows or not, but both drivers have had issues coming into the pit lane, or certainly Haku has, whilst Liam was already in there. So safety car is out, and of course we've got Cody, who will be allowed to get past the Aston Martin safety car. Bert Mylander probably hasn't got much experience around here, because you do not expect to see the safety car at this stage. This has thrown the cat amongst the pigeons, I must say, because I'm going to be honest, I don't think a lot of drivers factored in a safety car. They probably did, to be honest, because obviously the drivers are not as short-sighted as I am, because I certainly wouldn't have factored it in there. Liam's got a 3-second penalty. Reflections leads the Grand Prix and will be coming into the pits. I think this is horror for the hard riders there. So I think anyone who's on the medium tyres is surely going to come into the pits, and they are indeed. Is this going to force Hannington into a two-stopper? It certainly is there. I think anyone who's on the hard tyres is not happy at all with their safety car, as they're all arriving into the pits now. Chlorine Pilot and Smithy have stayed out then, and I'm surprised that I think the McLaren were too close then. So we've got a lot of action. It is the championship leader. He comes out of the pit lane now. San is coming out of the pits as well. I gotta take a breath. But San is coming out of the pits now, so Serious Russia stays out. Dynamo Dan has stayed out, as has Spiffy and Chlorine Pilot. Group Ninja stayed out, as has Halsey as well. I got to say, I've had too much birthday cake, because I got to say, I'm really struggling. Oh my word, I'm getting myself indigestion. I probably should have had a bit more squash before coming on air here tonight. So then it's just Duncan Dave coming out of the pits. Vintage in the pit, coming in the pits. Well, Real Ashton also coming out of the pits. Here comes Liam then coming down the start-finish straight then. I'll be interested to know what happened in that battle then. So let me see if there's any comments been made then in the old driver paddock area, because I'm very intrigued about that one, because that is a very interesting way to end the Grand Prix. Just having a quick look to see what's occurring, and no one has said anything, so okay. Well, that'll be hopefully we'll find out before we come on air tomorrow night, or probably in Abu Dhabi in a week's time then. But certainly interesting predicament here in Qatar, and there is a very unusual sight in this Grand Prix. It is, of course, the safety car. Drivers that have not pitted then. Chlorine Pilot is not pitted, and I think that's because McLaren would have had to stack him. But I'm wondering then if it is better to come in the pits. And potentially Slayer is back in the session. Good somebody there. So I just seen a comment saying that he was trying to rejoin then. It seems the most of them are going to pit now then, says Mayran then. It won't let me join at the moment, says Slayer, but I think the Slayer, you're back in the session now, my good sir, as I just seen you pop in. So hopefully Slayer will come back in. Hopefully Slayer will be in now then. It's wrong, I think, says Mayran, in terms of going for a two-stopper. So Mayran thinks it's still a one-stop right there. Chlorine Pilot, Smithy Almighty, Dynamo Dan, Serious Musher, Groove Ninja and Halsey have all not pitted, nor has Slayer either. Hopefully Slayer will be back in momentarily. So Slayer has stayed out then as well, because so everyone else has pitted once. And I think that Mayran is thinking the reason why is because it's so difficult to overtake around here, of course. One retirement in this race is Haku Saku out of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately for Haku Saku then, and that is Haku Saku's third Grand Prix, third DNF in his third DNF of his career in ALR, sadly there for Haku Saku. Am I reading the right one there? I can't see his... he had a DNF last week then. I can't see him if he's had a DNF anywhere else, but maybe I'll have to put my old specs on now. Potentially, this getting old malarkey is too much for me. It's too much. So, as we're on at lap number 9 and 20 laps to go. That's still a long way to go on those hard tires, isn't it? Anyone who's on the medium tires then is trying to get to the end, like Hannington, for example, Liam, Vintage, and Real Ashton. That is a long way to go there. It's not just a long way, it's a long way to go there. In terms of the penalty situation at the moment, Groove Ninja's got 6 seconds. Liam's got 6 seconds as well. 3 seconds for Winnie, 3 seconds for Cody. I thought we had more penalties than that, to be honest, because he was flashing up left, right, and centre earlier on this race, but only 4 drivers with penalties. And so that ain't too bad at the moment there. I think the pit stops have not been kind, though, well, to be honest, I think anyone getting the pits knew they're going to be in traffic. Styles down in 10th position there. Smithy is now going to have a bit of clear out and could potentially take the lead in the not too distant future then. So Smithy has not pitted, and so that could be crucial. Nor is Dynamo Dan either. Dynamo Dan possibly had nothing to lose. Smithy Almighty may have had something to lose, but it's gone opposite to his championship rivals of Hungry Styles and Reflection. Reflection in 7th position, so he's going to have to battle his way back up to the lead of this race then. But safety car then after an instant coming into the pit lane with Hakusaku. I'm not sure what happened, but Hakusaku drove into the pit entry there, and that'll be probably reviewed at the end of the race because that was a very unusual incident. We're go here, and Sani's got the jump on Hannington, but that is too early. He's going to have to let the car back through. Groove Ninja is all over the gearbox of Serious Mushroom. We've got a lot of battle in here, and now Groove Ninja going on the outside there. A Serious Mushroom can barely get the power down, and look at that. That is the 2 Aston Martin swap position as Halsey has got his teammate through, and now he is holding up Hannington, who's on the medium tires. I don't think he's going to hold him up for long there, but Halsey is certainly getting robust there. Winnie is through, passes Slayer. Slayer's back in the session. That's great 17. Halsey has lost out now. Of course, Halsey on very own 9-lap tires, and on the outside there's contact, and I think that Sam has made contact with Halsey, and Halsey may not be too happy at that. That might be a bit too robust there. Styles is fighting with Mr. Elite. Mr. Elite has gone in deep, then got out deep, and it takes 9th position there. Groove Ninja is past Silent up in 2. No, he isn't. Gary's got past as well, and there's an Alpine there going a bit wayward there. I'm not sure who that was, and I think that might have been Mr. Elite. It was Mr. Elite there. There he is. Thank goodness gracious me. We've also got a hat of Liam all over the back of Winnie there, as Liam is looking very racy here tonight. There he is in the Haas car, and he's on the medium compound tires, a very fresh medium compound tire as well. We know Liam is going to have to pit at least one more time then. As Cody's had an issue, and he's off the circuit. He's at the back of the field now, is Cody, unfortunately. No, that's not ideal. Reflections down all over the back of Serious Mushroom then. But however, I think it's Hannington who's now all over the back of Reflections, and now Hannington is going to take the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix, and he is through and up into the lead. Up into 5th position, not the lead. Sure, you're speaking absolute boulder dash again. Calm down, sir. Groove Ninja is over a second back then, but Groove Ninja is not pitted. He is sticking to a 1 stop there. Styles on the outside here. Styles on the outside there as Hannington has passed Mushroom. Styles, not quite there. Mr. Elite on the outside as Winnie defends from the inside of Mr. Elite. Fantastic race in here. Serious Mushroom's lost out. Serious Mushroom's lost out as Reflections has forced his way through. There's gravel all over the circuit there. Dynamo Dan is lost out to Hannington as well, as Hannington's all over the gearbox in the top 2, which is Chlorine Pilot and Smithy Almighty here. Incredible stuff in this one. This safety car has really brought this race to life, hasn't it? Ashton's got a 3-second penalty. He's had a slap on the wrist. Liam is all over the gearbox of Mr. Elite then. Mr. Elite is on the hard compound tires, and whilst Liam is on the medium compound tires at the moment. If I could get my words out, that'd be fantastic. The R's to be enabled at the end of this one then. So Chlorine Pilot is not scampered away. Smithy Almighty, this is a crucial overtake now for Smithy Almighty. Of course, he has Hannington behind him there. There's Smithy Almighty. That is not his race tonight. I don't think for Smithy Almighty. He'll love to win, but more importantly, he needs to try and reduce the arrears of the World Championship. Smithy takes the lead. Chlorine Pilot's down to 2nd position. He's having a sniff on the inside there, and I think that was more of just just to scare me, but more than anyone else, I think, that as a Chlorine Pilot there was trying to have a go at Smithfield Mighty, but Smithfield Mighty as cool as a cucumber there. Dynamo down in 4th position there. Reflections is down in 5th position there. And as the champion of Silver said, then it might have been a mistake to go for a 2-stop here because they're all in the pack at the moment. Groove Ninja in 8th position there. San is in 9th, and these drivers are starting to get through at the moment, aren't they? And that is the problem, as Hannington all over the back of Pilot, as a Pilot has gone wide then. Hannington having a sniff at Smithfield Mighty is going to try and extend the lead as quickly as possible. We keep the tower up there as long as possible because, of course, we want to see the gap then between Smithfield Mighty and Chlorine Pilot there. Hannington is going to have a look, is he? I think that it's going to be too dangerous to consider Liam and I think Liam in was it Duncan Dave go side by side through that part of the circuit earlier on. Then unfortunately both was doing a bit of spinning, a bit of synchronized spinning, weren't they, of course, which is great stuff indeed there if you're doing ice skating, of course. Sadly not Formula 1 racing. Out of the final turn, Smithy Almighty, 8/10 of a second there, but here comes Hannington now, all of the back of Pilot. Pilot then, I don't think is going to fend this is going to fight this one too hard. Then Pilot, of course, sticking to. Well, I haven't said that. He is going to go at the inside. He is at the inside of Smithy Almighty, and my goodness me, that and it looks like if you're in a DRS train, just similar to Sunday. Remember that Moultrie couldn't get past the McLaren of Flippy, but having said that, Hannington is through now, passes Pilot in a very unconventional place to overtake. And now in the second position, Hannington and Smithy, I think, got one more stop to make at least, as has Pilot as well. I think so is Dynamo done then. And the question is, is how much time are they going to be able to gain back up later on in this race then? Reflections in 5th, Cirrus Musher in 6th position, Groove Ninja and San in 7th and 8th position. Styles is in the pack, he's down in 9th position mode. Styles is 10th is Winnie, 11th is Mr. Elite with Liam in 12th. Great drive for Liam so far. Slayer in 30th position, sticking to the one stop, mainly because he wasn't in the race at the time. Duncan Day 14, Vintage is up to 50, Real Ashton in 16th with Cody 17th. Halsey was getting knocked about left, right and centre there, unfortunately, and unfortunately has dropped down to the last position. Reflections on board Reflection on the championship leader, but currently he's got 14 points to his account then, which will be added at the end of this race. San is on the inside of Groove Ninja and takes a position. Groove Ninja they're trying to use a bit of the up and under. Now Styles then would like to get through here, but once again then he seems to be in a doorstop, seems to be a bit of a crocodile here. Hannington has taken the lead. Styles has got through as well. And look at this, and now Chlorine Pilot has lost out to Dynamo Dan. No, he hasn't there. Dynamo Dan is still behind the McLaren driver, and now here comes Reflections as well. That is not what you want to see in your wingmirrors. Winnie is up to 9th position. Groove Ninja down to 10th. Mr. Lee having a sniffer. Look at Liam in the background there. What a drive from Liam so far. Of course, he's on the medium compound tires there, but very much throwing caution to the wind. Liam is tonight, and that is great to see. Groove Ninja's lost out, and Liam on the outside. I guess the Groove Ninja's lost to Mr. Lee and to Liam there. Both on fresher tyres, but even so, great racing there up and down the field. Hannington is absolutely scampered off, and I don't think Smithy's too concerned by that, because Smithy is going to be more concerned about this man in the other green car, but it's not a light green, it's the British Racing Green and the Aston Martin of Reflections in a 5th position at the moment. Hungry Stars is now looking at that 7th position then, is Hungry Stars then. San in 8th position, that McLaren, and then we've got Cirrus Mushroom just in front of us as well, so Stars is now starting to climb up the order ever so slightly, and the contact between the two cars, and that's allowed Styles through, and that might allow Winnie through as well as they're banging wheels. Sam diving back up the inside there. Hannington has set the fastest of the race there. As getting very robust between Cirrus Mushroom and San as we come across the line. Look at how close these drivers are there, and more slipstreaming again as San is almost off the circuit there, and we got Mr. Elite going up the inside there, almost off the circuit there, almost, while he's off the circuit almost there. Good grief there. Mr. Elite is through. Winnie trying to go back up and under, and Winnie has gone back up and under and got back past there for Mr. Elite. Mr. Elite thought he might have had job done there, but unfortunately that's not the case there, is it? And Mr. Winnie. Elite then is still in 10th position at the moment. So Styles that is behind at Serious Russia. Both drivers with 120 start each then. To the name then, 240 in total between these two drivers in this category of Grand Prix racing. Look at the understeer there on that racing ball. Reflections is still in 5th position there, and this is the problem, isn't there? We're stuck in a DRS train, similar to what happened to Immortal on Sunday. He got stuck behind Flippy and Brabbit and couldn't get past 4th position there. Similar thing has happened to Reflections here tonight. Whether this is going to be costly or not remains to be seen as we're on lap 15, and I think that we are now approaching the stops, and for any drivers that did not pit under the safety car, and we'll see how long it takes them for those drivers to catch up them, but I think they can eke it out ever so slightly more, because I think it's too early to come in the pits yet to really make those medium tyres last as long as possible, of course, because this circuit is very painful on those tyres, as we sit there with Cody on those soft tyres earlier on this Grand Prix. And now then Chlorine Pilot there might be losing out here, because Dynamo Dan is on the outside. He's through. And what about Reflections trying to get through as well? He is through, is he? He's not through, actually, as Chlorine Pilot is stayed in front there. And look at that, that's Hungry Styles all over the gearbox of his still his championship rival Reflections. He got past Serious Mushroom somewhere, and now Hungry Styles is back up in 6th position. That is alarm bells for the championship leader. Who's that gone off? San is off, and the Reflections throws it all against the wall, locks up and is up the inside and takes 4th position. That was a move that desperately needs to be made. That might have been a championship winning maneuver there for Reflections. In terms of his fight with Styles, Styles needs to get through as well. Otherwise, I think he's going to lose out to DRS here. Chlorine Pilot's already 6/10 of a second away from his championship rival Reflections. I feel that Styles does not have to finish in front of Reflections tonight then. But, of course, he still needs to have a realistic opportunity in the Drivers' Championship, doesn't he? With a gap at 10 points then. Out of the final turn then. No, out of turn 15, out of turn 16 now then for Stars. So Stars has had to wait a few more corners there. Chlorine Pilot is coming into the pits. There's someone else in the pits. Well, that's Serious Mushroom also in the pits. Now Reflections, now they're starting to break off, and now Reflections can use those fresher tyres as advantages. Now back up into 3rd position then. And he's got a clear bit of air now. Smithy Almighty is a 3.5 seconds back then. Mr. Elite is all over the back of San. Mr. Elite has got no penalties on there, so that could be good. As we've got Chlorine Pilot on the hard tyres. Serious Mushroom has gone to the medium tyres for the remainder stint of this Grand Prix. Wondering as Stars has got a 3-second penalty. Mr. Elite has also got a 3-second penalty as well. That could be costly then, but of course we'll wait to see the outcome of this Grand Prix, because of course a lot of drivers have penalties out there at the moment. Lap 17 in this race, and if you just joined us, hello. Gary Hannington leads the Grand Prix by 4.5 seconds, but he's going to have to pit again. Smithy Almighty is second. He has not pitted. We had a safety car, which has kind of jumbled up the strategical options here for these drivers. 3rd position is Reflections. 4th position is Dynamo Dan. Dynamo Dan is not stopped. Reflections has. He can go to the end of the race, but whether those hard tyres are going to be in a servable condition at the end of this race remains to be seen. Styles has pitted them, but might be in the same boat as Reflections. Same with Winnie. Same with San as well. Groove Ninja has got a penalty. Cody's got a penalty as well. Into the pits comes Hannington after 9 laps, and now Smithy Almighty takes the lead at the Saudi. Nope. Where are we? We're at Qatar. Into the pits comes one of the Haas cars. I think that was. That's Liam, who's had enough on those medium tyres as well. Oh, I swallowed me tongue. Down into turn 1 then for Mr. Elite. 3/10 of a second is the gap between Dynamo Dan and Hungry Stars. And Pilot's got a 3-second penalty. Could be costly in this one there. The Chlorine Pilot is going to be quicker than a hiccup, as is Serious Mushroom as well. Stars all over the back of Dynamo Dan. So I think that these drivers could be on the same strategy, could be on a different strategy. Who knows in this one? There's been absolutely enthralling contest here with a safety car, which I think a lot of drivers possibly wasn't expected, but a safety car came out and is really thrown the cat amongst the pigeons there. We've got a lot of drivers on different strategies strategies out here tonight, haven't we there? And it has very much been a curveball in this one so far. Hungry Styles then would like to get him in the third position. The gap between himself and Reflections is about 3 seconds there. And that gap is just getting bigger and bigger because Dynamo Dan is on very old, hard compound tires in the Williams machine now. I think as it stands, Dynamo Dan is after the championship, sadly. It was a very optimistic, very optimistic to still be in it, but of course, mathematically, if you're in it, you still can win it. San having a sniff up the inside. Into the pits comes Smithy Almighty. Into the pits comes Dynamo Dan then. So both Smithy and Dynamo Dan mirroring their strategy. Reflections leads on lap 29 with 10 laps to go. This is not over yet. Styles in second, winning in third. Fourth is San with Mr. Elite in fifth. Duncan Dave, what a drive in sixth position. Great stuff. Vintage in seventh, but I think Vintage is going to have to stop again. Cody might be able to equal out then. With Real Ashton doing a great job in ninth position as well. Hannington is the highest runner who did not pit under the safety car in 10th. Smithy Almighty in 11th is going on to the hard tires. Dynamo Dan, this is crucial for, I think, and Serious Russians through. And what about Pilot? Pilot's going to be through as well. Dynamo Dan cannot let that McLaren go through. And this could be curtains for Dynamo Dan, and as he stays on the outside, he is going to be fighting tooth and nail because that McLaren needs to stay behind the Williams. And at the moment, he's on the outside there. Dynamo Dan is trying to fire up his tyres. Luckily, he's on the medium tyres, whilst Chlorine Pilot is on the hard tyres. And that may have cost him with a bit of warm-up. And that is crucial. Dynamo Dan has stayed in front of Chlorine Pilot and is still in 13th position. He does have Mushroom in front of it, but is one less car to overtake, of course, which, of course, even that simple math is very much easy for me to work out. So, in terms of the race leader, there are the gaps then. 16 seconds between Hannington and Reflections with 10 laps to go. 23 seconds between Smithy Almighty and Reflections. Here comes San and passes Winnie and moves himself up into third position. Back on the podium is Winnie. Vintage in the pits. Cody in the pits as well. And also Real Ashton. So, all those drivers in this are not going to get to the end of those medium tyres there. So, as we got to the moment, as it stands, as Jake Stairs got a 3-second penalty. We'll see at the gaps, and the gaps are still 16 seconds there, so not much has changed then. Same with Sirius Smithy Almighty as well. Dynamo Dan would like to get past Sirius Mushroom, but he's not close enough yet. Now that is interesting. Sirius Mushroom is not going to be an easy. It's not going to be an easy object to manoeuvre in this one, is he? Sirius Mushroom. He's not going to wave Dynamo Dan through, of course, because they're all racers, aren't they? At the end of the day, so Reflections lead. Starts in second position. We've still got 10 long laps then. Smithy Almighty has got a gap under 23 seconds. I think that's a step too far. They should manage a lot to make one stop stun then, says Mayran then. So let's take a look to how this one transpires. I feel that maybe they should have put it on the safety car, because that is a lot of time to make up there from Smithy Almighty with 10 laps to go. He needs to be seconds quicker than Reflections. But of course, we still got about 9 laps to go, and those no one in any of the championships have done a longer stint in. Was it about 16 laps? Is it in gold? Potentially. I don't think many drivers have really pushed the hard tires to the limit like the front 5 are going to tonight. And that's a very out of control Chlorine Pilot in the background of the McLaren. Watching Dynamo Dan then as he is getting closer and closer. Smithy Almighty has set the fast lap of the race there. And you've got to remember that the fast lap is also going to be crucial in this one. What am I doing? As Chlorine Pilot and he's out of the race there, Chlorine Pilot. It's a lot of frustration there for Chlorine Pilot. It was looking pretty good at the early stage there, but now is Chlorine Pilot out of the race there. No points for the McLaren team now, unfortunately. As they were just watching now, Mr. Elite currently in a 5th position, keeping a watching brief. Groove Ninja has got penalties as well in that Williams car as he is hunting down Halsey, who came in the pits earlier on. It's done 7 laps on those hard tyres. Liam is in a strong 11th position. Brilliant drive, just like Brazil a few weeks ago in the event league. Liam is very much harvesting some incredible performance tonight. Liam is doing a great job out there and on fresh hard tyres. Well, I think he's going to be a major factor later on in this one there. So watch out for Liam. him. Winnie is just drawn back ever so slightly, and San is now gaining on Styles. This is not what Styles wants or needs in this championship battle, but they're both on the same life of tyre. But San, then, who I say has been very unlucky this season, of course, he's had the pace, hasn't he, San Anselmo, but has not had a podium yet to his name. He could have one here tonight. Lap 22 out of 29. Laps are ticking down quite quickly now in this Grand Prix. Oh gosh, Smith and Mighty are fast up the race there. Smith and Mighty in 8th position there. Next target up the road is Hannington, but I think he'll be looking at Duncan Dave. He'll be looking at Mr. Elite as well, but Duncan Dave is 7 seconds away from Mr. Elite, and that's quite a mammoth gap to close in there with just 7 laps to go. I think that's a stretch too far for Smithy Almighty. We'll keep an eye on the Drivers' Championship there, because currently, as it stands, let me get me old, what book am I looking at? Let me get me old spreadsheet up there, because this is going to get very interesting indeed. That Smithy Almighty carry on 8 points then so far in the Drivers' Championship. As it stands at the moment, then it is a 26-point buffer then between. There's a 18-point buffer between Reflection and Stars. If it finishes now, the championship would go down to the wire still. But then, of course, it's Smithy Almighty is 26 points away. Hungry Stars is 18 points away from the Drivers' Championship at the moment now. So the championship is not done and dusted yet. And any manoeuvres that Smithy Almighty makes in this at the end of this race is crucial for his championship aspirations there, of course. We'll keep you all abreast then with the championship presentations. Winnie and Mr. Elite are both into the pits, and so they are not going to get to the end on those hard tyres. And Mayran might have hit the money on the head then, because the drivers could be shown to come in. Winnie has rolled the dice on soft tyres. Cody's soft tyres didn't get very far. Mr. Elite has gone on to the medium compound tyres. Hannington is down with the 4th. Duncan Davis down into 5th. Smithy's got past his teammate. Dynamite Dan is up into 7th position at the moment. It's still not enough for Dynamite Dan to keep him in the championship fight then. Smithy Almighty is now on 12 points then in this championship, which means that Smithy Almighty has a gap of 22 points, and trying to keep you up to date as best we can in the Drivers' Championship. The gap is down to 22 points, which is music to Smithy Almighty's ears, as he is the leading runner on the medium compound tyres there. Huntington is now in 4th position there. San is keeping up with Stars, and Stars has got an 18-point gap between himself and Reflections at the moment. Lap 23 out of 29 here, then the championship is going to go down to the wire in Abu Dhabi. Have we had a bronze championship has gone down to the wire? I'll come back to you. I'm sure that did we have we had Kiki, Brooksy and Jay Hings there, but I don't think, did that go down to the wire? I can't remember, when he's got a 3-second penalty. San's got off the rope then. I think that San would get away with that, because I think he eased off the throttle there, which meant that, and you can see he's lost a couple of tenths or a second there. So very clever driving from San at the moment. Reflection still leads the way. Hannington is now set to fast up. I forgot about Smithy's fast lap. Goodness gracious me, there's too much to think about in this race. So Smithy Almighty is gaining up to Duncan Dave. I think he's probably gained on him or caught up there at the wrong part of this one there. Versier saying Winnie Bottle then is I think that in turn means soft tyres there for Winnie, unfortunately. On board with Smithy Almighty there. He would like to get past the Red Bull driver at this part of the circuit here, but I think he's too far back. Even with the Red Bull harvesting here then. More points gained then. He's currently on 12 at the moment. Smithy Almighty. There's an extra 2 points in front of him. But he doesn't want to do that then. He's gone into the back of Duncan Dave. Would that be damage to the Ferrari? Duncan Dave, I'm wondering if he's forced about it and let the Ferrari through. Duncan Dave has, because I think that Duncan Dave is not concerned about that. He wants his best result of his career, of his season so far, with a brilliant 6th position for the Red Bull driver. My goodness gracious me. Smithy Almighty is now on 14 points then in the championship there. I'm going to sound like a parrot, and by the end of this one there. Gap is down to 20 points in the Drivers' Championship. Goodness gracious me. 18 points in between Stars and Reflections. 20 points between Smithy Almighty and Reflections. Goodness gracious me, gentlemen there. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed then. Out of the final turn once again then. At the moment, the 2 Aston Martins, how are they doing in the Constructors' Championship? I do not know. I'll have to get back to you on that one, because I'm going to have to do some maths there to work that out, I think, by the end of this one. Winnie is all over the back of Serious Mushroom now. I think the Serious Mushroom is going to realise Winnie's on soft tyres, and he won't be concerned. Yeah, I think the Serious Mushroom is not going to be concerned about Winnie just yet. I think Winnie's tyres are going to start to fall off, I think, very quickly in this one. So Serious Mushroom might be able to get that position back. San is still behind at Styles, and with just 4 laps to go. There's Hallington in the background, and I think the Styles and Reflection San is making this strategy call work very nicely indeed. But I think Hallington is very much on course to get second position in this race. Smithfield Mighty is 7 seconds back, 11 seconds back. I think that's the highest he's going to get here tonight. For Smithy, he might be, well, I haven't said that. We got to think about the penalties, because I forgot about the penalties. There's 3 seconds for the top runners. Winnie's on 12, so I think that Winnie is very much as a stretch there for that second Ferrari, and that could mean curtains for the Ferrari in their attempts to get the Constructors' Championship to go down to the wire as well. As it stands, and Aston Martin will be crowned Constructors' Champions in bronze. Mr. Lee has got past teammate Sirius Rusher and now between 9th position. Sam there still just too far back, agonisingly too far back. Gap is down by. Did you see that in the background? That was a Ferrari. That was a Scarlet Ferrari. It was Smithy Almighty, who, goodness me, he's not feeling well, is it tonight there? But he's putting all of his issues behind him, and is very much pulling his toe down now. 26, 27, 28, and 29 to go. Basically 4 laps to go in this race. Dynamo Dan then, who I'm not counting them up then, but I've got to make sure he's actually up there, because I do not know in this one. Smithy Almighty is pushing to the limit and beyond in this one. Fantastic. Liam is all over the back of Groove Ninja. Oh, so Liam, we caught him red-handed there, didn't we? As he was off the circuit, was Liam there, but a great drive. Great drive as well for Duncan Dave. 2 of my driver of the day so far. Potential along with San as well. Goodness me, I think that we got so many candidates for drivers out there. Only 2 retirements. Haku Saku calls the safety car with an issue coming into the pit lanes. The Chlorine Pilot has parked the McLaren out of the Grand Prix. I think that he thought it was a stretch too far potentially, or there's technical issues on the McLaren, which we've seen a lot of that in the silver this season. Then of course with Mayran having major issues halfway through the season, but of course in the end clinched the championship. Sadly for Liam, he's got a 3-second penalty there, as Duncan Davis all over the gearbox now of Dynamo Dan's all over the gearbox now of Duncan Dave, and 3 laps to go. Smithy is not within that penalty situation just yet. And on lap 8 on those medium tyres, that might be a stretch too far, but we've also got to keep an eye on for those hard tyres. So those hard tyres are going to get to the end. Dynamo Dan is now into 6th position. Dynamo Dan is down. Duncan Dave is down into 7th position here in this one. There, Liam is all over the gearbox of a Groove Ninja's going for it, and sides of the inside. What a manoeuvre! And Groove Ninja's going to try and come back at him. What a great manoeuvre there from Liam. Then from I thought he was a bit too far back, but the Haas driver just threw it there into turn 1 and takes 11th position there. Magnificent stuff indeed. Halsey is trying to hold off Slayer, who's in 14th position, and putting the pressure on the second Aston Martin driver. Look at that understeer on that racing bull. Incredible stuff indeed. Back at the front, 27 out of 29. The gap is now 6 seconds there. Reflection's going to win this race, even with that 3-second penalty. Currently, Hallington is going to be second there. Smithy Almighty, 7.5 seconds at the moment, but he's now 8 seconds away from the top, from the second and third then, which I think he needs. I think he needs that if he wants to keep this championship alive then, as Reflection's currently leading the way, and as it stands I think that is going to be the Constructors' Championship inched over the line there for Aston Martin. I think Winnie, I must say those soft tyres are still going. I am beyond but I am absolutely beside myself to see those soft tyres still going, and I may have sold Winnie short here. He's up into 7th position then for the Ferrari driver. Groove Ninjas into the pits then, So Groove Ninja might be going for a splash and dash instead of going on soft tires like Winnie, because Winnie is driving superbly well. Somehow it's giving us soft tires there. Well, Duncan Dave, what a drive, but he does have Mr. Elite there, very much in his sights now. Gary is Hannington is now caught up to the back of Sam then, with Styles just in front of us as well. Reflections leads the way. 6.4 seconds the gap is at the moment. Styles, Sam, that's the top three. Both the top two have got oh, Duncan Dave! Oh no! And Duncan Dave has spun out of contact with Mr. Elite. And I am devastated from Duncan David, because he's had a tough season. This was his best performance of the season on very old hard tyres, and he has lost out, down in 11th position now, and he could be vulnerable now to the charging Halsey and Slayer. That is heartbreaking for the Red Bull driver. Up into second position, there goes San. No, he doesn't yet. Oh goodness me, San almost loses the car. Vintage has got a 3-second penalty at this stage of proceedings, and as we come into the final lap, then Haku's out of the Grand Prix. Well, he's already out anyway. Hallington has already got second position there, but I think he wants to just put more pressure on these two drivers at the moment. But as it stands, Styles is going to be third position then, and that will mean then that he will drop into third in the championship. As he will drop into third in the championship, the gap is 20 points between Styles and Reflections, 21 points then between Reflections and Smithfield Monty. I'll have to go through that again because you probably don't understand what I'm saying in this one. Oh gosh, right, we've only got one more lap to go in this incredible race there. Here is Reflections, and he is not too far away from him, and I think Aston Martin will be crowned Constructors Champions. I don't think Ferrari have done enough here tonight then. I've got to get the old calculator and the old fingers out in a minute then, but I don't think they've done enough. Aston Martin then maybe Constructors Champions, and I'll confirm that in a minute then, as Reflections comes across the line to take a 6th Grand Prix win of the season. Gap is 20 points to Smithfield Mighty, 21 points to Hungry Styles. Smithfield Mighty recovers to 5th position there and doesn't get any higher for the Ferrari. Styles 21 points back. Smithfield Mighty 20 points back as well. Reflections got the championship in his hands now, folks, and Dynamo Dan in 6th position there. Incredible stuff indeed there. What an absolutely outstanding Grand Prix. That was a magnificent showpiece. It really was indeed, wasn't it? Mega job indeed there from all the drivers in this one. Superb stuff indeed, as Winnie does finish in 9th position in the end then, which will be 7 points there for the Ferrari team, and we got Halsey who got 10th position there, which will be 6 points for the Aston Martin team. Let me quickly get me calculator out, ladies and gents. Hang on a minute. Let me. Goodness gracious me, Sean. You need to sort yourself out. Ooh. Aston Martin are the Constructors Champions of bronze, and fantastic stuff indeed. Aston Martin have won the Constructors Championship in a superb Grand Prix. Oh, absolutely mega stuff indeed then. Aston Martin have crowned the championship there with one more race to go. Let me take a screenshot of that before I do anything else there. Brilliant stuff indeed there. Absolutely hats off to Aston Martin and the Constructors Champions here in bronze. Congratulations there. Final classification. Reflections won this race and extended the Drivers' Championship to 20 points. 21 points between himself and Smithy. 21 points between himself and Styles. Hannington in 2nd. Styles in 3rd. San in 4th with Smithy in 5th. Dynamo Dan in 6th with Mr. Elite in 7th. Serious Mushroom 8th. Winning in 9th. Halsey in 10th. Duncan David in 11th. That could have been so much better. 12th Slayer. Liam in 13th. Vintage 14th. Real Ashton getting a point in 15th. Cody in 16th. Groove Ninja gets a final fastest up with 2 retirements in this race, which is Chlorine Pilot and Halsey out of this incredible Qatar Grand Prix. Oh, my goodness gracious me. The headlines are: The championship goes down to the wire in Abu Dhabi in a week's time then. Gap is 20 points between Smithy and Reflection, 21 points between Reflections and Hungry Stars. Aston Martin are the Constructors' World Champions there. Fantastic stuff indeed. Mega job there from mega job there indeed there for Aston Martin. I think they're going to be overjoyed with that result. They really are indeed then. And I hope my maths is correct, because I must say that was getting very tense in the old commentary box then, because I must admit I was getting very worried about screwing that up there. Oh, goodness me. Right then. So then the championship will go down to the wire then. Championship will go down to the wire in Abu Dhabi then. So that's going to be very tense affair indeed then. Of course, Aston Martin have been crowned the Constructors' Constructors' Champions. 20 points between Reflections and Smithy. 21 points between Reflections and Hungry Stars. Reflections, who won the Grand Prix today, and Reflections there. I was saying in qualifying that I was quite surprised to see a safety car, and I was even hazarding a guess that potentially the drivers may not have factored in a safety car. But firstly, before we go through any of that spiel, you won the Qatar Grand Prix today then, and you are in prime position to win the championship in a week's time then. But it ain't done and dusted yet, is it?
No, definitely not. I'm keeping my feet firmly on the ground, but that was a fantastic result for me. No, didn't factor in the safety car at all. I was and ahhing whether to pit or not, because I knew the hards would be a stretch. When I finished, they were on like 77% on the front left. So I was just staying off the curbs on them last couple of laps, and happy days. On to the last race next week.
And we was talking as well in the comments box about potentially if you were pitting on the safety car, that may have had issues coming through the traffic. But there was a couple of times where it looked a bit closer, but you came through the traffic quite well. Then was that down to your setup, or was that just down to the tire life that you had at that time?
I had no straight line speed. I struggled on the straights. I was running quite high wings, so I had to do a few half risky maneuvers into the tight hairpin at the end of the first sector to make the moves work. I was a little bit worried when I was behind Chlorine Pilot and Dynamo Dan that Smithy would pull away, bridge a gap, knowing that he had to pit again, but hoping he wouldn't catch the gap back up. And it turns out, I'm guessing they got caught in traffic when they had to pit, and the same with Gary as well. So, yeah, the risky maneuvers paid off. I wasn't thinking about the championship at that point. I just wanted to win the race. I knew I had the pace too. It's just executing it.
And that's what my next question was going to be. Actually, was does these calls then factor in potentially you're on the cusp of winning the bronze championship, and also Aston Martin win the constructors championship as well, or was you, or as you said, in usual, it's more focused on the race then? Of course, towards the end, then you did have quite a healthy gap. Then was you just trying to coast those tires home then? Because of course, knowing that potentially you could see Hannington in the background, or potentially even Smithfield might have come through the field as well. So was you just coasting towards the end then?
Yes, I was. I was just staying off the curbs. Once me tyre marker come up on me MFD with 5 laps to go, I was just trying to not use as much ERS and just stay off the curbs. Um, but I knew I had a 3 second penalty as well, so I had to just try and make sure I stayed 3 seconds ahead, which I did just about.
And I got you're in a very unique position at the moment. And of course, job done potentially tonight for Bronson, but tomorrow night as well. You're going into the event league, leading the championship by 14 points between yourself and Equelzad. How difficult has it been to focus on one or the other, or have you been somehow trying to manage the expectations? Because I must say that's such a difficult and unique opportunity you've got tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, it's it was okay when we had the same track on both nights because I could practice obviously for bronze on one night, and then I had enough practice and setup ready for the Wednesday. Um, but when it's been two different tracks, it's been quite a challenge. So I'm gonna like literally hop on now and start doing Abu Dhabi practice ready for tomorrow.
And it is a very different discipline compared to bronze next week, when of course bronze goes to Abu Dhabi next week for another championship showdown in Abu Dhabi. Goodness me. And, you're all about the championships then, but are you going to be able to take any experience away tomorrow night, going into bronze on next Tuesday, even though it's a completely different race setup, of course, where you got 100% race distance compared to 50%. Can you take anything away from tomorrow's night's race?
Not really, no. It's a completely different track. This is a lot more high speed. So no experience. I've not even drove Abu Dhabi on this year's game yet. So I've fared well on previous games there. So I'm hoping it won't be too bad. But with points in qualifying and points in the race, got double the chance to hopefully clinch it.
I'm glad you said that because I thought I didn't read it properly. And then let's come to the final point as well for bronze. And of course, you've got quite a nice advantage then. You're 20 points or 21 points ish in front of Stars and Smithy Almighty going into the final race of Abu Dhabi next week. How are you going to approach that race then? Is it going to be the longest week of your of your career so far? How are you going to approach the next week coming up then? Or is it just going to be plain sailing?
Um, I'll probably have a few sleepless nights. No, I'm just going to enjoy it. Just enjoy it. I know I've got the pace to do it, as long as obviously I don't spin or make any silly mistakes. I know I don't necessarily have to win the race now. I can just hopefully just come in behind Smithy and Styles. So I'm a little bit relieved. I've got that little bit of a buffer now, so I can go in and enjoy it.
And I hope you do enjoy it as well. Good luck tomorrow night, and good luck next week as well. And also good luck to Equals, and also good luck to Smithy and Hungry Stars. And well done, Stay Reflection, a brilliant.
Sorry, can I just say one more thing as well? GG's to Halsey on clinching the Constructors' Championship. I know he watches the streams, so he's done fantastic this season, been a great teammate, and letting me buy off the safety car restart. He's fantastic. So GG's and much respect to him.
Absolutely, and of course, the constructors is just as important as the drivers. I'm glad you mentioned that because not many drivers care about the constructors. Well done, Stay Reflections. Brilliant job then to win the Qatar Grand Prix. Tomorrow night, the Reflections is going to be in action again then, this time in double the points then, of course, for qualifying and the race then in Abu Dhabi then. 50 odd laps then around around Abu Dhabi tomorrow. Cannot wait. Luke is going to be taking you through that action tomorrow. Equals and Reflections, 14 points separates the two drivers then. One more showdown to go in Abu Dhabi. Luke will take you for the action tomorrow. I'll see you Sunday. Goodbye.